Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we have some Scream 6 news to talk about. Today we got a few news about Scream 6's screen time, Courtney Cox being an executive producer, um, and some other stuff that I want to get into. But before I get into all this stuff, I want to ask you guys to, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. And everyone who's watching this video, give a thumbs up, leave a like, smash the like button. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, we're just gonna get right into everything here. Um, it basically today we got this right here, Critical Overlord. I saw it not only from him but other um, sources, and I have a whole bunch of other screenshots too. But it says right here the estimated runtime for Scream 6 is 1 hour and 58 minutes. So, and then you guys, I have other screenshots here too by Universal Horror, and a whole bunch of other valid sources confirm this as well. So, Scream 6 will have, um, it'll be 1 hour and 58 minutes long. So, pretty much it's gonna be a little bit longer than Scream 5, but not like too long. But it'll probably be like the longest ever since Scream 2, because Scream 2 is exactly like 2 hours long. So this would pretty much be like the second longest Scream movie. So yeah, pretty much this movie is gonna be 1 hour and 58 minutes long, which I don't really mind because um, like I know a lot of us fans have been wanting like more, like for Scream movies to be like maybe 2 hours long, and or like 2 hours and 15 minutes long, 2 hours 20 minutes, or 2 hours and 30 minutes, something like that. Like just to be a little bit longer. Um, and but I feel like this could still work. 'Cause I feel like what matters the most is if they capture everything that they needed to do for this movie. Everything that they needed to be told in this movie, and in terms of the pacing, has to be set up very well, and just tell the story completely in this movie. And by the time it finishes, because we can't, if it feels like a rushed movie, then it's that, of course, that would be a problem. But I think this, since it's a little bit longer than Scream 5, it could be a good thing. So I still think they can pull off a good story in pretty much almost 2 hours. Pretty, because like I said, Scream 2 was like exactly 2 hours long, so this is only like 2 minutes shorter. So it doesn't it's not really a big difference, but yeah, I think this is a good runtime for the most part. But we have this as well, saying that Courtney Cox is credited as an executive producer for Scream 6. This we have a whole bunch of I had a whole bunch of other valid sources confirming this as well. Universal Horror even confirmed it. Because he like put a whole bunch of stuff on his page. One of them was on the top. It says it will last 158 minutes. I mean 118 minutes. Basically an hour 58 minutes, which is the run time for Scream 6. Um, yeah, like that's how long it'll be, and I just talked about that. But and then he also confirms as well here that Courtney Cox is an executive producer. So a whole bunch of other valid sources are confirming not only the runtime for Scream 6 with how long it'll be, but also Courtney Cox being an executive producer is pretty much confirmed as well, which kind of led fans to, including me, to believe that, does that mean, Courtney Cox will have some kind of power in terms of her character in Scream 6? Because Courtney Cox, if she doesn't like something, she could easily be like, I mean, it's not like she's the writer or anything, but I feel like executive producers or producers in general, they still do have somewhat power on scripts, and especially studios, because studio interference is a big thing as well. It can have big play on scripts and stuff like that in terms of the writing. So I feel like, Courtney Cox might have some kind of power in terms of the script for Scream 6 with her character, you know. So I think this could honestly be a good thing. And just seeing her as an executive producer in general, I think it's cool because Courtney Cox very, she deserves it. And her, especially with the iconic character she plays as Gil, like I feel like this is cool. And I I don't really know if I want to like get into that, but the whole other stuff that fans have been saying, because like fans have there was some fans complaining about like, oh, like they have Courtney Cox as an executive producer, um but and they, which means that they're paying Courtney the amount that she deserved, and they gave her everything that she wants and needed. But eh, I don't even know if I want to say it, but I feel like you guys know where I'm going with here. Because like there's just been a whole bunch of complaints from fans just trying to compare Courtney Cox being an executive producer to someone else who isn't in Scream Six, saying that this isn't fair because that certain actors didn't get paid, and didn't get what Courtney Cox is getting. Her being an executive producer and stuff. You guys know who I'm talking about, obviously. But I just don't want to say it just because I don't really feel like talking about that anymore. But yeah, I've seen some fans try to compare this and try to complain and be like, oh, like, so they can give Courtney Cox all this money and pay her all she wants and give her executive producer and stuff like that, but they couldn't pay this certain actress what she wanted and give her this type of role of being an executive producer. Like, and it's just like, bro, I don't know, man. I don't even want to get into that because it's just whatever. But and Universal Horror, like I said, he confirmed the runtime as well for Scream Six and Courtney Cox being executive producer. But also, he says here that the trailer will be out very soon, which he's talked about this before. I've seen him talk about it before about the trailer coming out soon, but I just never covered it because I just don't. I'm not so sure about that. Not saying that it can't be true because I definitely think that we're getting the Scream Six full trailer soon. Like who knows, we might get it sometime this month, towards the end of the month. So I do think that we're getting the full trailer for Scream Six very soon. But at the same time, um I just didn't really feel like there was a need to cover that news, you know. But yeah, I do think that the Scream Six trailer, the full trailer, will come out very soon. But and then at the end here, he says the movie will have an R rating in the U.S. But if you guys see the third line here, the third one, he says that Kirby will have a limited presence. And then, when I first read this from him, when he said this, and I saw it on Twitter and I read it, I was like, wait, what? Kirby will have a limited presence in Scream Six? I was confused, like what that means. And then I read the comments to Universal Horror's post on Twitter, and I was reading some of the comments, and then I saw a lot of fans complaining, like oh my gosh, this means that Kirby's not going to be in the movie that much. She might end up getting killed off, or or they just brought her back for no reason, and she's not even going to serve any type of role or purpose in this movie, and they brought her back just for nothing, like blah blah blah. And it's just like, bro, my thing there is just like we don't know for sure what limited presence could mean. Like limited presence could, obviously it could be referring to limited screen time that Kirby would have in Scream 6. But the thing is that like it it could also be hers. Like yes, her screen time could be limited in the movie, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's only gonna have like 5 minutes of screen time or something. Like I feel like some fans are probably thinking of this as like, oh yeah, she's gonna have like 5 minutes of screen time and they're not really gonna do anything with her character. And I feel like this is why some fans I see are complaining about this because when they read this by Universal Horror, where he's over here saying that Kirby will have a limited presence in the movie, of course, some fans are gonna be like, oh yeah, like it's gonna turn them off, like and they're gonna think that this means that she's not really gonna be in the movie or serve a purpose in the movie. But I don't think that though, because I feel like I said, I think limited presence, limited screen time could easily be, like she may not have the most screen time ever, because obviously she's not the main character. She would obviously be like, a side character just helping out, you know, and with her being an FBI agent and all this stuff, she would pretty much just be, a side character. It's not like we're gonna focus on her like the whole movie or something. Like, because she's not like the main character or anything like that. But she would be like an important side character for the most part. And, but she could still have a decent amount of screen time. And I feel like that could be also what limited screen time could mean. That she's gonna have a decent sized role in the movie. Especially because it's been said, like of course we don't know for sure, but like, based off what Jenna is saying and Melissa about Kirby having, a good role in the movie, and you know, even viewing on talking about Kirby, having, quite a bit to do in Scream 6. I feel like, Kirby will have a decent sized role in Scream 6. I feel like some fans are probably thinking that limited presence for Kirby means that she's barely going to be in the movie, but that doesn't mean that that's the case. Like, she could, because another thing too is that limited screen time could also, you know, I feel like sometimes screen time is not always important compared to how your role of a character, how important a role can be. Because, like, she doesn't have to be in the movie for like the whole. She doesn't have to have like freaking like 40, 50 minutes of screen time or something like that. Like pretty much be like in half the movie, and play this super gigantic role in the movie. Like she could easily have like probably 15, 20 minutes of screen time, and that's honestly decent enough because a lot of other side characters don't even get that much screen time in this. And I feel like especially after the original, it's like screen time for side characters honestly has started lacking more in the sequels of this franchise. Um, so I feel like honestly, even 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes is a lot of screen time for even a side character. So even if she were to have that kind of screen time, that would still be a lot. That's like a decent size and amount of screen time right there. And like I said, screen time is not always what's important. What's more important, I feel like, is the role that they're actually playing and what they're gonna do in the movie and what story they're gonna tell with her character and what she's gonna be doing throughout the movie in general. I feel like that is more important for the most part than screen time, because like she can have a lot of screen time, but if her role is not really like if it's not really anything, then it could be like, yeah, they weren't really doing anything with their character, but they had so much screen time with her, and that could be a problem. So and vice versa. Like if she didn't have a lot of screen time, if she was doing a lot, you know, but she had like barely any screen time, that could be a problem too. But I feel like depending on execution, she can have like I said, like 20 minutes of screen time, for example, and she could have like 20 minutes of screen time, but have probably a big important role in the movie. And I feel like that's what matters the most. It's not really the screen time. It's what her role is actually going to be and her significance in the movie. I feel like that's what some fans are kind of missing. Like they're kind of looking at the screen time as the most important thing, for Kirby's character. But I feel like in my opinion, I just think like this is not something that's always the case because like yes, screen time can't. A lot of the times it is important. It is important for sure, but I feel like in this situation, like it doesn't. When it comes to limited screen time, it could easily be her just having just a decent sized role in this movie. And her just still having like she's not in the movie a whole lot, but she's still doing a lot in the movie. Like her role is very important, and I feel like that's like I said. I feel like in certain situations, that's what matters the most. Is how important the role is of what the character is doing. It's not necessarily really the screen time. So depending on execution, I feel like the whole limited presence thing that Universal Horror is talking about, the limited screen time stuff. Like I don't really think that necessarily matters because what matters the most is how important her role is and what significance she's going to have in the film. It's not really the screen time. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thing there, is because I've seen so many fans just complaining that like, oh my gosh, like Kirby's gonna have a limited presence in the movie. Like, come on, like this is they brought her back for no reason, or I bet they're gonna kill her off, and it's just like, bro, I don't know. Like, I mean, like I can understand some fans having that concern. My bad, guys. My AirPods died, but I can understand some fans having that concern, but I feel like I've been seeing so many fans have that concern to the point where it's like they're almost like, because I've seen some fans just straight up say like, oh yeah, like she's gonna have Kirby will have a limited presence in the movie. Oh my gosh, that means she's gonna get killed. That means that they brought her back for no reason, and the directors and Radio Silence don't know what they're doing, and they're just messing stuff up. Like, bro, like chill. Like you don't even know what limited screen time could really mean. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. Like you don't even know what the significance of her role will actually be. And like I said, limited presence and screen time could literally mean anything, bro. So, I just feel like some fans are kind of just complaining a little too much on this whole limited presence thing that Universal Horror is talking about. Like, it's not really that big of a deal, I feel like. But, that's kind of my thing there. And, and just in general, Kirby, I feel like I said, I feel like she's going to have a decent sized role in this movie. But is she going to have like the most screen time ever in this film? No, I honestly don't expect that. But I don't really care about that though. As long as her role is significant and important to the movie, I feel like that's all that matters. Like Kirby doesn't need to have the most screen time ever or something like that. Like, like we don't really, like she doesn't need all that, but yeah, that's pretty much my only thing there. And even viewing on, he was tagged under Universal Horror's post from someone who commented at viewing on, and he was like,
do you concur? That's what he said to Viewer Anon. And then Viewer Anon even said himself, he was like, depends on how you define limited presence. I believe Kirby's in it at least as much as Gale was in Scream 5, if not more. So, there you go. He's even saying it himself. It depends on how you, what do you mean by limited presence? What do you mean by limited screen time? Like, what specifically do you mean by that? Because, some fans are over here thinking like that means she's only going to have like 5 minutes of screen time and she's not really going to do anything in the film, or that she's going to get killed off or whatever. But it depends like what you mean. Like how do you define limited presence? Because that could easily mean anything. Like, and that doesn't mean that her role in the movie isn't going to be important, either. And he even says himself that I believe Kirby's in it at least as much as Gale was in Scream 5, if not more. So she's going to be in it quite a bit because, Gale wasn't in Scream 5 that much. But when you really think about it, Gale's role in Scream 5 was like at least decent enough, especially like towards the end of the half, like the middle half towards the end of the movie. Like her role was pretty decent from that part. So I felt like, that if and he said it himself, at least as much as Gale in Scream 5, if not more. So it's possible that she has even more screen time than that, than what Gale had in Scream 5. And Viewer Anon even said himself that Kirby's going to have a bigger role. Like, she's going to have a bigger role in Scream 6, and that she's going to have more to do in Scream 6. So that's kind of my whole thing there. And even Viewer Anon said that Gale is going to have a lot of screen time in Scream 6 too. So I believe Kirby and Gale and all this, and I believe they're gonna have a decent sized role in Scream 6, and they're gonna play a big part of the movie and be involved in it. I know that there's fans out there that are just thinking that they're not really gonna be in the film, but just based off of all this stuff, I feel like they are gonna play a decent role in the movie at least. So that's kind of my thing there. So yeah, like I said, limited presence, limited screen time could literally mean anything. Like, we don't know what exactly that means, but yeah, that's kind of my thing there. And then Universal Horror also posted this picture today. I only saw Craven, I think, and I think maybe Critical Overlord talk about this so far. But Universal Horror posted this picture of a ghost face standing outside of in the streets near an alleyway, and I guess you can somewhat go off of speculation here, but I'm not too sure though, because I was kind of thinking, at least for me, in my opinion, this kind of looks like someone in a Halloween costume. Like someone just dressed up as Ghostface for Halloween, at least in my opinion. Like that's kind of what it looks like to me, honestly. Like it doesn't, like just the way this Ghostface looks, how like the way they're built, the mask is like more clean and shiny. I feel like, I don't know, it looks like someone dressing up as Ghostface for Halloween. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but I don't know. Like that could be the case, but I'm not too sure. But if this is an actual Ghostface killer, as we've been talking about for the past few months, like I've talked about on my channel of Ghostface, having chase scenes in alleyways and stuff. Him standing near this alleyway could mean that we get a chase scene in an alleyway. He probably chases someone through an alleyway and tries to kill them. and that would honestly be cool to see. Um, and yeah, I think it would be cool, but I don't know. This like the way I don't know why, but like this Ghostface looks so like stiff, like and he looks more like skinny, and the mask looks kind of weird and off. It almost looks like a mannequin, to be honest. Like I don't know if I'm just like thinking or seeing stuff off the top of my head, but when I first saw this, it like looked like it didn't even look like an actual Ghostface killer, like someone in the Ghostface costume. It looked like some type of mannequin Ghostface or something like that. Like that's literally what I thought. But then again, it could be a different stuntman for Scream 6. Because we know that. Because I'm pretty sure in Scream 5, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure they had a different stuntman in Scream 5 compared to the other movies that came before it. And maybe in Scream 6 they have a different stuntman. I'm not too sure, but or I could just be looking at this wrong, and it's probably the same stuntman from Scream 5 at least. But I don't know. That's just how it kind of looks like it from my view in this picture. But yeah, like if this is the actual killer, this could be potentially getting a chasing in the alleyway or something. And Ghostface, we know he's gonna be slicing and dicing in the open, out in the streets of New York. Which, like I said, it would just be awesome to see that in general. But yeah, there's not really much to go off from this picture. My bad, guys. I was charging my AirPods, but yeah, like there's not really much to go off from this picture, but it is interesting though. It's a cool picture, and this is the regular, clean, cut mask from, you know, just the regular white mask from Ghostface. But as we know, there's other pictures of someone wearing an old age worn out mask, Ghostface. Um, So we know there's gonna be different masks being worn. Some killers are gonna wear the clean cut, white original Ghostface mask, and then maybe others, someone else would just wear that old age worn out mask. And I don't know. I feel like they're who knows, maybe in Scream 6 they're gonna be all types of different masks that we've never seen before. Maybe there's that old age worn out mask is not just the only different Ghostface mask that they have. Maybe there's other ones too. Because they did say that there's going to be previous killers' masks in this franchise from all the killers, so in the museum. So I felt like I don't know. Uh, it's possible, but yeah, like that's really all I could go off from that, I guess. But like I was talking about earlier, Universal had posted this a few days ago, but I never felt the need to make a video on it, because I just didn't know. I don't know. I was just like, is there even a point in making a video on this? Because like we don't know if this is true or not. Like, I mean, almost everything I'm talking about in this video, in terms of like the Kirby stuff that came from Universal Horror, and the whole the like and like the Kirby stuff, we don't even know if that's true. And this too, like we don't know if that's true either. And just in general, like a lot of stuff that I talk about in my videos that you know like I can tell for the most part if a lot of them come from valid sources. If not, then I probably won't talk about it. Or if I feel like there's not really a point of making a video on certain things, I just won't do it. But Universal Horror is a oh shoot. My oh shoot. My bad, guys. I don't even know what the heck happened, but it like because I accidentally clicked the notification because I just be getting so many notifications while I'm making videos, and then sometimes I like try to like swipe them away and whatnot, but then I accidentally like log out of it. So yeah, my bad there, guys. But yeah, I was like planning on making a video on this, but I just didn't know for sure if I should, like, if there's any point of that. But and like I said, that's not to say Universal Horror isn't a valid source, because he is for the most part. But like I mean, not everything is valid, obviously. But and I even say, whether if it comes from Universal Horror or Viewering On, to not take everything that I talk about in my videos, you know, with that information, as like 100% true, because we don't know for sure, but they are pretty, Universal Horror and Viewering On are pretty valid for the most part with what they talk about. So that's why I give them credit, and a lot of the times they apologize even when they are wrong on information. So I can at least appreciate that. But I just didn't really know if there was a point of me making a video on this for some reason. I don't know. But he basically said a few days ago, full trailer of Scream 6 is coming very soon. Trailer will be around 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. So I don't know, like, if this is true. I just hope that the trailer doesn't spoil much, because we all know Scream 5's trailer is spoiled a lot. So it just kind of sucked. But yeah, it really did spoil a lot in the Scream 5 trailer. So I'm just hoping the full trailer, whether this is true or not, but just in general, like, I hope when they do release the full trailer, I don't really know if how long it is really matters. I feel like what matters is if they show a lot in the trailer, because you can have like a 2 minute trailer, you can have a 2 minute trailer but still not show a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like the runtime doesn't, for a trailer, doesn't really matter. I feel like what matters is if in general, if they show a lot. So whether if this is true or not, I do believe the full Scream trailer, the Scream 6 trailer, the full trailer for that will come very soon. Like I said, it could come towards the end of this month, or the beginning of February. We don't know, but we know it's coming very soon. But but in terms of the whole runtime being 2 minutes and 15 seconds long, like he's like Universal is saying here, we don't know that for sure. But like I said, I just hope, whether this is true or not, like, we don't know for sure, but whether this is true or not, I just hope when we do get the full trailer, the full Scream 6 trailer, that they don't spoil a lot. Because like I said, like, the Scream 5 trailer pretty much spoiled a lot of things in the movie. So I'm just hoping they don't make that same mistake again. So that's kind of all I got to say there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about everything I talked about in this video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I see you guys in the next video. And yes, I'm still gonna make, I've been saying this for a while, but yes, I'm gonna make my Friday the 13th franchise ranking video. It's coming out soon, probably tomorrow, probably Friday, but one of these last few days of the week, I'm gonna end up making it. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.